My best friend threatened to drag me to the doctor after years of my excuses, and now he's my husband. I ignored the same symptom for 3 years, and I'm only telling you this because I'm still here to tell you. That's the whole reason. Not for sympathy, not for attention. Because I was 26 years old, and I talked myself out of going to the doctor using logic that felt airtight at the time, and turned out to be a very elegant way of almost dying. Here's what my logic sounded like. I had a bad diet. I was stressed. I sat at a desk for 9 hours a day, and my idea of exercise was walking to the coffee machine and back. I came from a family where the women had iron stomachs and the men had hemorrhoids, which was discussed at Thanksgiving with a frankness that would have alarmed anyone outside our family. When I noticed blood, I thought, hemorrhoids. I thought, diet. I thought, I'm young. Young people don't get colon cancer. This is a plumbing issue, and if I eat more fiber and drink more water, it will resolve itself. It didn't resolve itself. I went to the doctor finally because my friend Petra told me she'd stop speaking to me if I didn't. Not in a joking way. She sat across from me at lunch and said, I have watched you mention this for 2 years, and if you don't make an appointment this week, I will make it for you and drive you there myself. I said I was sure it was nothing. She said, great, then the doctor will confirm it's nothing, and we can stop having this conversation. I made the appointment. My doctor was calm and thorough and said it was probably nothing but recommended a colonoscopy because blood in stool is blood in stool regardless of the probably. I was annoyed about the prep. I complained to Petra about the prep at length. She listened without sympathy and drove me to the appointment anyway. They found a polyp. Then pathology found something in the polyp. Then I was sitting in a chair across from an oncologist at 29 years old being told I had colorectal cancer, and the word staging and the word treatment and the word prognosis were floating around in the room, and I heard all of them from a very specific distance. The distance of someone whose brain has decided to process information in shifts rather than all at once. I called my mother from the parking garage. I sat in my car for 40 minutes before I could drive. I called Petra and she picked up on the first ring and said I'm on my way, and I said you don't have to, and she said I'm already in my car. I'm not going to walk you through all of treatment because treatment is its own long country, and I don't have the language for most of it still. What I'll tell you is that it was harder than I thought, and I got through it, and the people who showed up were the people I already knew would show up, and one of them surprised me. His name was Dominic. We'd been friends for 4 years, the kind of friends who talk every week and see each other when schedules allow, and never quite name what the friendship actually is. He drove me to infusions when Petra couldn't. He sat in waiting rooms and didn't ask me to perform being okay. He brought food I hadn't asked for and left without making me entertain him. Once I fell asleep on his couch in the middle of a sentence, and when I woke up he was reading, and he just said hey without making it a thing. I found out what I was made of during treatment, and not in an inspirational way, just factually. The way you find out what a structure is made of by watching what survives pressure and what doesn't. Some things I thought were solid turned out not to be. Some things I'd underestimated held completely. Dominic held completely. We got together 8 months after I finished treatment. Not because cancer is romantic, it isn't, but because you stop wasting time on things that don't matter when you've spent a year thinking seriously about the time you have. I'd been filing something away about Dominic for 4 years and I was done filing it. I got my 5-year clear scan last spring. My oncologist used the word cured, and I drove home and sat in my kitchen for an hour just existing in that word. I'm 34 now. I married Dominic 6 months ago in his parents' backyard with 20 people and a cake that was slightly lopsided and Petra crying before the ceremony even started. My liver is healthier than it was. My diet is better. I go to the gym with a consistency that would have been unrecognizable to the woman who thought walking to the coffee machine counted. I have a follow-up every year that I will never skip. Tanner and Sarah, who I met in my support group and who didn't get 5 years, whose names I write down sometimes just so they exist somewhere outside my memory. Think about them when I'm tempted to minimize something my body is telling me. I think about the specific cruelty of a symptom that seems like nothing and isn't. Here is what I want you to take from this. Not the cancer part, not the marriage part, or the treatment, or the survival statistics. Just this one thing. Petra made me an appointment. Find someone who will make you an appointment. Be someone who makes the appointment. That's it. That's genuinely all I have.